everybody, it's Sunday night, and that means it's time for FMTV Weekly. How are you doing? I am Peter Brown, and I'm excited to talk about Inter Miami. We've got so much to talk about. We got drama in Miami. And, of course, I don't do this alone. Let's welcome in my partner in crime, Uncle Ed. Say hi, Ed.
How's it going, guys? Here we are with Peter Brown, another show, and this is, man, there's so much drama for your mama, Peter Brown.
Save the drama for your mama, Ed.
Well, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Well, you know, there's so much. I put in the title of tonight's video that, this whole Matuidi scandal is so Miami, and it is. And we're going to get into detail about that throughout the show. Plus, of course, this is your show, guys. So drop a line in the chat, and we'll try to get to it as we see them. We'll pop them up, and we'll put them up on the screen and show. But also we have voicemail, and so you can always drop us a line through voicemail as well, which is right here, 786-474-4435. And one of the cool things, Ed, we got a voicemail as early as I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. One World, One Goal wanted to get in early. And so she left a voicemail. So I think we should get to that pretty soon, early in the show. Since she left it early, I think we should probably get to it early, right? But you guys...
Yeah, but let's...
You guys in the chat can definitely leave a voicemail throughout the show. But welcome to the show. We got so much to talk about. Ed, before we say, thank you to our sponsor, why don't we say, hi to some of the people that are in the chat room that have been waiting. Some of these guys, I love how the fact that some of these guys get in here like way early and literally do the countdown. I love it. Let's say hi to some folks.
They do, Peter. Yeah, well, let's start up with Jose Velasquez, who was the first guy on here. How you doing, Jose? Our good friend Jazz Fusion, who's actually touching some subjects that we're going to talk about today. We got the good judge himself, Judge Dredd the Law. How you doing, Judge? We got Alex Z. How you doing, Alex
Judge
Z?
Dredd. No, I'm not on Disney property today, but I will be in a couple days. Just FYI.
Cool. Mentioned Alex Z. We got our good friend Marvin Mieles, who's also checking us out. How you doing, Marvin? Another good friend of ours, Kevin Gonzalez. How you doing, Kev? Hope everything is great with you. Of course, One World, One Goal. She's always on here supporting us, and we're going to go to your message in a little bit. We've got Futboler, of course. Futboler is in here supporting as well. Another good friend, Eric Thomas, good friend of the show. How you doing, Eric? Hope everything is great. And let's see, we got Futbolers leaving a lot of messages there. I see you, Futboler. James Davies is also here. We got Edwin Sebastiani.
And he's calling me out too. Wait,
Julio?
hang on, Edwin. You're saying you're late, 15 seconds late. I was early. Y'all need to change your clocks.
Oh, man.
Y'all need to change your clocks.
Check it out.
I was early.
That's crazy. Well, that's cool, man. We got Jet Pancake as well. One of our favorite names, Sean the Fish Slayer, is here with us.
Love that name.
And, man, yeah, he's a fish slayer. Who else we got? We got Don Frosa. How you doing, my friend? Bruno Vieira is also with us. The winner of the wallet, Jonathan Carranza. How you doing, Jonathan?
Carranza, yes.
Yes, he is. Fernando Jimenez is on board. And B King, how you guys doing? Thanks for joining us. We have so much to talk about, Peter. But before we do that,
Futboler calling me out again. Peter, see, I am not the only one who knows you are late. Seconds late, but indeed late. I was early. I literally collected the button early. Y'all need to check your clocks. I mean, they're running a little fast, I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Anyways, hey, everybody. Let's start off by thanking Caneswear, because Caneswear is the place you need to go to get your Inter Miami gear. Actually, I think I'm headed there tomorrow. Monday, I think I'm going to head on over to Caneswear. I'm not working, So I have one meeting to go to, and I think I'm going to go to that one meeting at 1 p.m. And then after that meeting, I'm headed straight to Caneswear because I need to get me some new gear. Ed, and Caneswear is the place. You
gonna get the La Palma?
I'm not sure, Ed, if I'm going to get I'm still a little split. Like, do you get a jersey every year, or do you get, when they're $150, $130 and, in that general area, do you get one every year? Like when it was a Strikers, yeah, I got one every year. When it's $90 for a replica or $130 for, an authentic, unless you get it from the actual Inter Miami store, which then is like $150. It's a little more there. Wow. But if do you get one every year or what? So I got the black shirt from last year. I'm not sure if I get La Palma. I'm torn, Ed. Help me decide.
Wow. Well, I don't know, Peter. It's different. It's the last year is the black one we wore on the last show. We both actually for the last couple of weeks we haven't even talked, but we wore the same shirts.
I don't have that
which
shirt.
I think is hilarious.
I don't have that shirt. If I did, maybe I would. I don't have that. So today I'm still calling it Lockhart.
No, there you go. Which is a shirt you guys can get on our YouTube page, right?
Yeah.
Website.
You could. Yeah, you can.
So you guys should go.
So
I'm definitely that if you want.
Here's what I'm definitely getting. As long as they have it in stock, and they have it on their website, so they should have it in stock. I am definitely getting that all-weather jacket because I'm saying it's gonna rain in the summer while we're walking into the stadium, and I'm gonna walk into the stadium in the rain looking cool, in style. I saw that rain jacket, and I'm like, it's calling my name. Now, of course, I was like, would it look better in black or pink? Should I hold out till they come out with a black one? But I don't know. I saw it in the store, and it's definitely calling my name. So I'm thinking about definitely getting the jacket that I showed last week, and then maybe like a new hat or something, and maybe
real men wear pink, Peter. Real men wear pink.
Maybe.
But I'm gonna
get the La Palma.
I might do the same thing. I might, just to say I have, you didn't one up me by getting the pink one. I might splurge for that one. But La Palma, I am probably going to get it. I'm just going to wait around to see if they do come out with the sponsor.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, if you do decide to join me at Caneswear, or if you decide to do it online, you can use the same code that we had last week. Works this week as well. FBTV10. I know it's a typo, but go with it. FBTV10 will save you 10% online. So go if you're out of the neighborhood, go there, and if you're in the neighborhood, go to the store and play around and go talk to the fine folks at Caneswear. They're fun to talk to. So, like I said, I'm heading over there tomorrow, I think. So, Ed, what's going on tonight?
Oof, Peter, what isn't going on tonight? There is so much to talk about.
Yeah, and before we get into all that, I think it's probably a good idea to go through that voicemail, just because, the voicemail I don't think it's definitely not related to the drama that you're saving for your mama. So let's maybe first start off with Caneswear, because it's a different topic. We're going to probably spend a good portion of tonight's show on Matuidi and the whole scandal that seems to have popped up, and so we'll get to that in just a minute. But I think it makes sense to let's first start off with this voicemail, and part of the reason is it's not working. These old phones, Ed, they it's like I'm pushing the button, and okay,
it's not going.
All right, here we go. All right, hang on a second. Let me plug it in, plug it back in.
Technical.
Oh,
here we go. Technical
Peter
difficulties.
And Uncle Ed and all the great fans, and Ricky Ricardo too. This is Homeworld Gold. Just before we get the whole show started, I wanted to comment on the event. Now that I researched a little more, I saw Peter's fantastic video. His lovely wife, Mrs. Peter, I forgot her name. Sorry about that. And I thought the two of them did a great job. She's really cool, and I love to see her input on the video. A chick's perspective. Plus, I think we need to commend Beckham. He really did a good job. If you look at Franco Panicio's video, you do see that press conference that Peter was talking about. And Beckham was, Moss was great. He speaks like a politician. He's always good. But Beckham kind of went off script a little. He was very personable, which maybe you could get one of those Southern Legion guys to come on the show and tell us what happened during that 2-hour meeting, because there's no clips of that anywhere. But one of the things I really like to say important, which I think bodes well for the vote, is for people, the new stadium vote, for people to really see what Beckham is like, what he could do for the community. Say we're wrapping up the press, Moss was diplomatically walking away, wrapping it up, and Beckham said, no, wait a minute. And there was a lady apparently in the back, and he said, did you want to ask me a question? And she asked a very well-worded, very intelligent question about the youth system and what his, goals are for Fort Lauderdale, because that's important too, and then how that relates to the main MLS team. And Beckham just opened up and
these old phones, you put them to sleep and
goals are for Fort Lauderdale, because that's important too, and then how that relates to the main MLS team. And Beckham just opened up and really went into full, genuine detail about his beliefs for the club and why he's an owner for the club. And I really think that's so important. I think it's, during these very stressful times, we all love our sports. We, especially me and Peter, we always cut bits about and complain about the marketing and this and that. But, we get a little of that brand Beckham magic. We'll be getting that stadium open in no time down in Miami, and we'll have the great Fort Lauderdale team. We could build that up beautifully. Maybe they'll hire somebody like a Jeff Cassar to run it, because Jason Christ got promoted to the MLS assistant position. Okay, have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.
So let's start off with I love the fact that she complimented my wife. Just tell you, Ed, my wife was in One World, One Goal. Let me just tell you. You left that message on, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. My wife had a bad day on Wednesday, and she came home not having a great day and all that. I said, hang on a second. Let me play something for you. And I played that for her. Made her feel better. So thank you. One World, One Goal for Mrs. Peter. And that's her new name. She doesn't have a first name. Her name is Mrs. Peter. And that's what we're going to go with. Because let's be honest,
run with that one.
If I tell you her name, you're not going to, most people don't get it right. It's, Luciani, nobody gets that right. They call her Lucy or Luciana. They can't get Luciani right. So Mrs. Peter works just fine. But it made her day for a little compliment. She doesn't really follow the game a whole lot. She just puts up with it for me. She just puts up with it. But
I hear you.
But one other thing I thought was funny is that she's asking for someone from Southern Legion to come on and talk about what happened in that meeting. And we got a message from Julio Enriquez, who was, I'm pretty sure, in that meeting. And it kind of reminds me of, what happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club. Because he says, we cannot comment on what was spoken at the meeting. Just kidding. So it's like, Ed, what happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club. What happened in that meeting stays in that meeting.
Well, actually, I do have insider information that Julio Enriquez was not one of the guys that showed up there.
Oh, so he was not?
He couldn't say anything. Oh. He wasn't there.
Well, I know he was there that day. I saw him. I talked to him a little bit, but he missed the meeting. Was he late?
Missed the meeting. He didn't. No. He decided to let other people experience,
which was very cool.
Because Beckham's already seen. It's something that we used to do, but we still do nowadays. Beckham's seen our ugly mug so much that we don't do it. Well, the same thing. Julio Enriquez has gone to a couple of events, and he decided, let's let somebody else go.
That's very cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. Yeah, everybody gets a chance to get their selfie with Bex. At least one, right? I've gotten a couple of them, so I'm good, right?
Yeah, me too. So I think it's time for other people.
Well, dude, your ugly mug is plastered next to Beckham forever and forever. When they talk about launching the team, you come up. Every time, every publication, no matter what, it's you.
They should give me some type of copyright, some type of monetary, compensation for my image. That doesn't happen, though.
No. And just to prove my point, Eric Thomas gets my wife's name wrong again, and he met her. You mean Mrs. Brown would be Uptown Luciana Brown? No, Eric Thomas, it would be Luciani Brown. Luciani. See, that's why. Let's just go with Mrs. Peter. I like what one girl said. That was perfect.
We'll stick with that.
Yeah, why not?
So,
nobody can get her name right, anyways. But so super cool. Ed,
everybody wants to talk about this subject.
Yeah, well, you know what? So, you know they've got a saying in NASCAR: if you ain't rubbing, you ain't. What is it? What is it? Something like if you ain't rubbing, you ain't. Something like that. If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. I think that's what it is. If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. No. So it's kind of like if you're not cheating, you're not winning, right? So Inter Miami might have gotten a little caught with something. So for those that don't know the backstory, we'll just give you a quick backstory. Is Inter Miami is under investigation apparently for illegally under the table, what have you, paying of Blaise Matuidi.
Tomfoolery, Peter.
Yes,
tomfoolery.
Matuidi, apparently, so everybody, he was a starter, I think, for Juventus. So he's playing at Juventus, top of the level, top of the league,
World Cup champ,
right? Top of the, top player. Everybody would expect if he comes to MLS, he's coming to MLS as a DP. Well, lo and behold, we get him as a TAM player, and so of course. I mean, the funny thing is it took this long for anybody to question it. So that's one of the interesting things. But, he comes in here as TAM and everybody's shocked. Like, wait a minute, we thought he'd be a DP player, but they got him in TAM. Great job, Inter Miami. And so now they're saying that maybe Inter Miami paid him a little under the table, gave him a little dinero. I don't know how you do it. I mean, but you slip him a little white envelope under the table, so that way he gets his full payment, but yet he's on the books for TAM level player. So now they're under investigation. So Ed, I mean, it's a scandal in Miami, another scandal in Miami, and that's why I titled this episode something about it's so Miami. It's so Miami because scandals in Miami go hand in hand. I mean, if you're in South Florida and you're not involved in a scandal, are you even trying? Okay, I left that open for you to jump in, Ed, but I don't know. Maybe we have a little bit of a delay. So yeah. So it looks like he's frozen. Looks like Uncle Ed is frozen again. Are you there, Ed? He bailed out on us. All right. So anyways, we'll try to continue as best we can. But it's no, Alex Z, you got her name wrong too. It's an E, but you're close. Thank you. One World, One Goal loves my NASCAR reference. She is a NASCAR fan, yes. So there's not frozen, meditating. I love Judge Dredd says that Uncle Ed is not frozen. He is meditating. He's meditating on the deep thoughts of being in a scandal with Inter Miami. And, I just say that it's so Miami because think about it. Miami is known for being a little bit of a banana republic. The politicians, if it's kind of known that if you want to get something done in South in Miami, you got to pay the right people. And for that, I've said for a while that Inter Miami is not paying the right people because the stadium should have already been built. If they were paying the right people, Miami Freedom Park would already be done. So it makes you wonder if they are paying the right people or not. But Ed, it seems that, the accusation is that, they were paying Matuidi under the table. And what do you think about that, Ed? Do you think there's any truth to that?
Well, I don't know, Peter. Like you said, if they really did have those connections, right now we would probably start building in that site near the airport. It's kind of fishy, and some people even mention it on the in the chat room that the only person that's not under investigation happens to be Paul McDonough, who is basically the architect of last year's team.
How do you like that? How do you like that image? How do you like that image where Paul McDonough's a little bit of devil horns?
I like that. I like that. But another thing, Peter, that we also mentioned was we were going to reference an article from The Athletic, and that article is not there anymore.
That's weird. So I don't think there's any conspiracy there. The Athletic is let's be honest. Athletic is one of my main resources. I love it. I know it's behind a paywall. You got to pay for it. But for me personally, I think it's money well spent. It's got great articles, and they had a very in-depth article about this scandal. And of course, a lot of it is just a little hearsay and a little bit of maybe intelligent thinking as to kind of what may happen. But it's gone, Ed. The article is not on their website anymore.
But Peter Brown was able to copy it.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I pay for it doesn't mean my friends have to pay for it, right? So I copy and paste some of the important articles and share it with my buddies, right? You know,
yeah.
So just since I pay for it doesn't mean you have to pay for it, Ed.
Yeah, I benefit from Peter Brown's money. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see everything that they talk about. Like I said, we mentioned Paul McDonough's not under investigation. Only the team. That's kind of like makes everybody go, what's the deal? He's the guy that did most of these deals. He's the guy that probably got Matuidi to come on board. So it's definitely something fishy. And Peter, I know you don't like conspiracy theories, but there could be one here.
See, I'm not big. Yeah, I'm not big on the whole conspiracy theories. You get into this whole political stuff with all these conspiracy theories. Everybody thinking, man, I'm so tired of conspiracy theories because for the last 4 years, all we've heard are conspiracy theories. I mean, whether it be Corona, politics, what have you. Now I got one with my club. I mean, come on now. So it's so yeah. The popular opinion is. Or the question really, I guess, is how is Inter Miami under investigation for illegally paying a player, and the guy that's in charge of making those deals happen is not part of the investigation? That is a very good question. And it was clear in the article that we talked about that is stated that he is not part of the investigation. So he has been cleared. So of course, the conspiracy is, did he, to paraphrase a friend of ours, did he dime out Inter Miami? Is he in the witness protection plan of MLS? Did he? Yeah.
To get hurt. Yeah. That's something that we've been thinking. I think everybody's been thinking about that. Why is this happening? But more importantly, Peter, I think we should focus on the probable penalties.
And that's what Matt Z wants to know. Matt Z says, what do you think will happen with the Matuidi scandal? So I think this. First off, I mean, we're jumping to the conclusion that they're guilty because it's Miami. I mean, come on.
Miami.
It's Miami. We have a football.
We want to win.
We have a football program that was almost shut down with the Miami Hurricanes. Our friends at Caneswear would be very, very familiar with that. Scandals in Miami and sports, it goes hand in hand. So we automatically jump to the fact that, yeah, maybe we are guilty. But that's the whole thing. If they could be proven that they are guilty. So the question is, let's say Beckham and Moss paid a little under the table to Matuid to get him to come. Are they so sloppy to get caught? Are they good enough to not get caught? See, Moss knows business, and he knows Miami business. He knows how to get things done. So he knows the whole politics of things and how to, maybe slip in. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, Ed. But I think he's smart enough that if he was going to do something, he wouldn't get caught. Or, I'm thinking, Ed, or is it that he didn't know? So, because there's other things. Like, for example, if you look at some of the players that have come across, MLS, think about David Beckham himself. When he signed with LA Galaxy, part of his contract was to get a Groupon for an MLS franchise for himself, which we benefited from here at Inter Miami. So part of his contract was that he got a franchise if and when he wanted, and sometime in the future for whatever the franchises were going for at that time. And that's the kind of stuff that sweetens the pot so that he signs the dotted line. So how is that any different than saying maybe stroking a check for Matuidi, or buying Matuidi a house, or buying Matuidi a car, or whatever they may have done? What difference is it? Isn't it basically the same thing that they did with him? And then also Zlatan. I mean, Zlatan got some sweet, like, under the table kind of deals. I mean, he's a part owner in some other club that it all kind of mysteriously comes together as part of his LA deal. I mean, LA Galaxy have a history of doing this kind of stuff. So could Inter Miami just be in a situation where they're like, hey, others have done something similar, why can't we?
Exactly. And if anybody knows how to do those things, it would be Paul McDonough. He would definitely know how to get these things accomplished, So once again, why he's not involved in this, because maybe he moved on to another team. But I still don't think that he should be, one of the people they should question is definitely him. Because if anybody knew the rules, it was Paul McDonough. So let's talk about the possible penalties, Peter. What do you think is going to happen if they are found guilty?
Well, so I was looking through some of the comments, trying to find, and if anybody is commenting on this, and if I missed something, I'm sorry, because I'm looking up at the camera instead of down at the chat. So Ed, maybe if you can see anything that's applicable. But I mean, the easy thing, let's be honest, this is David Beckham's team, and they want to be in Beckham business. All right. The MLS wants to be in Beckham business. So let's say he's found guilty. Let's say they're found guilty. I would guess that I'm hoping, here's the best case scenario. You lose a few draft picks and you pay a fee. You pay a penalty and you lose a few draft picks. Draft picks aren't what they used to be, right? They're not that great. I mean, we got Robbie Robinson. He looks promising, but is he really? I mean, we screwed up in that we didn't get Daryl Dike, but which would have been a great get. So there are definitely some good gets in the draft. But realistically, teams are not building their rosters around the draft like they used to be, especially with the advent of the academies. So the academies are becoming more and more important, so the draft is less important. So you want to slap Beckham on his wrist, you tell him to pay a fine, no big deal, and you lose some draft picks. And if that's the case, then you look at it like, this was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth get that kind of penalty. No big deal.
They're like, oopsie. Yeah, oopsie.
Sorry.
We won't do it again.
We didn't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
My bad.
I won't do it again.
My bad.
Sorry, my bad.
Peter, but there's another possibility here. Points. They could be deducted points from the championship. What do you think about that one?
I don't think that'll happen. For whatever reason. Here's what is more to me. What is, if they, like I said, if they want to slap his wrist, if they really want to be in the Beckham business, they do what I said. But if they want to be a little stricter, I think what you do is you say, all right, fine, we found you guilty. Matuidi is a DP. He has to be a DP. So then that means a few things have to happen. We have to get rid of one of our DPs because we don't have any open DP slots. So you got to say goodbye to somebody like Pizarro, and then you got to look at it. Who's more important, Pizarro or Matuidi?
Or Pellegrini.
Higuain or Matuidi? Pellegrini or Matuidi? Pellegrini's interesting, though, because MLS does have, as part of their collective bargaining agreement, they do have a U22 program. They don't have a really fancy name for it yet because MLS hasn't really announced it yet. Because from what I understand, they're still working out some of the kinks and some of the details. But there is a U22 package that's being worked on, and it's supposed to be in play this year. where anybody that is under 22, when they sign their contract, is then you could pay them as much as you want. Now they assume that most players would make somewhere in the $600,000 to $700,000 range, but there is no limit. They could be technically a young DP, but young DP kind of goes away. If you're under 22, when you sign, you count as one of these U22s. And I think, if I remember correctly, each team could have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5. Right. So because the league is trying to really promote getting some young players, some up and coming players as opposed to over the hill players. So what that means is that Pellegrini would then be his DP status would be removed and he would become a young under 22 players. Now, this hasn't happened yet.
Right.
That's the problem. It hasn't happened yet. So if he's moved down to a U22 player, and here's the thing is once you're signed, you could keep them in that U22 program up until they're 25. They just have to be signed by under 22. So they can keep them in there until they're 25. So then at 26, I guess, they would have to become a DP if you want to keep them. Or you sell them off. That's the idea. You buy young, you get them, you groom them for a few years, and you sell them off, and you make some money. So technically...
that's the whole idea.
Pellegrini should be in that category this year. If they could finally figure out the dot the I's, cross the T's, all that kind of stuff in this thing. Therefore, there would be an open DP, and if they said Matuidi had to be a DP, not the end of the world. We just don't get to grow. We just have to stay status quo, which could be okay.
So, but we'd be good.
Would we be good is the question, Ed. That's a different... I think you were saying we'd be good as in we'd be settled, but would we be a good team is a good question. I don't know. Do we still feel like we need one or two players?
That's another problem. I still believe we still need a couple other players, but all right, but okay, that would be the worst case scenario that he would have to become a DP and we would lose one of the DPs we have now.
I mean, I don't know if that's worst case. I mean, they could dock you points. I mean, I just don't see it happening. I don't think. I mean, the weird thing is with them. The funny thing is, it's 25 years in the league, and nothing like this has ever happened. That's crazy, and that's why I say I'm proud of my team. Ed, you could be a little upset. You could be a little upset that we are in this situation, but me, I kind of like the drama.
We want to win.
I love the fact that our owners are willing to do whatever it takes to win. Now, of course, it didn't go as expected the first year, but they tried. And bending the rules or flat out breaking the rules or playing dumb like you don't know the rules when you have the guy, Paul McDonough, that's supposed to know the rules. I mean, I'm proud of him. I'm proud let's just say, if this was all Jorge Mas, I would shake his hand and say, I'm proud of you. Even if you got busted, I'm proud of you for trying. You tried because you want to be a global. Because you
want to win.
And let's be honest. If you want to be a global team, you ain't global until you're in a scandal.
Another one checked off right there.
Right. They want to be a global club. They're like, Juventus. Well, they were in a scandal. We got a Juventus player. There you go. We're there. We're there.
Nice. Yeah. What else, Peter? I think that would be a couple of the options that would happen if they would be found guilty. Worst case scenario, I think, we'll lose a DP player, and but with what you're saying right now, the under 22 initiative, we should be good.
We should. The funny thing is, the article that I read about the under 22, which is on The Athletic, they went into really good detail. I don't know if I
or was,
but no, that one is. That one is. Under 22 is on the.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The scandal is not. The under 22 is somewhere. But the interesting thing is that with the U22, some teams apparently are already using it. And yet here we are. And that's what I think when Chris Henderson recently said, in the press conference that we all got to see, thanks to Franco Panizo, where he said something about the fact that we were waiting to hear back from the league. I think they're waiting to hear back from the league as far as whether Pellegrini is going to be a U22 player or not, right? So that they could put him under under that and free up some money, and would free up not money but free up a DP, and so. And the interesting thing about the whole DP thing too is DP, or TAM, the thing with I'm trying to find my notes. The thing with Matuidi being TAM, TAM players fall anywhere from 612,000, a little bit over, to 1.6 million. So technically, they could have signed him for 1.6 million, and that's still a TAM deal. But if they signed him for, say, 2 million, well, then that's where we're in trouble. Hey, we have some voicemail. Let's go to this voicemail. I think Young Carranza left us a voicemail here.
What's up, Peter and Uncle Ed? It's Jonathan Carranza. Just wanted to call in and ask you, or not ask you, but talk about this whole scandal with Matuidi. And then, as a teenager, I really don't understand what's going on. I don't know if it's about with his contract or with the amount of money he's being paid. Or so asking you guys, is this something is it a scandal with how much money he's being paid, or something with his contract? Because if you read the article, it says something about how they weren't paying him the right amount of money, or they were paying him an over amount of money. So they were maximizing the amount of money that they were paying him. And so what does this mean now? So does that mean that Matuidi wouldn't no longer be able to play, or does that mean that he'll have to go back or switch to a different team?
All right, yeah. So let's back up a little bit. That's a good point. Is that we're assuming everybody already kind of understood this, and I went through some of this kind of quickly. But so Matuidi, we talked about it a little bit. He was supposedly signed with TAM money, so anywhere, like I said, from 600,000 and change to 1.6 and change, right? So if they signed him for under 1.6 million. No big deal, no problem. It's within the rules of MLS. MLS has the weirdest rules, and they are very confusing, and they're easy to... the smartest people can get confused with MLS rules, right? So us dummies definitely get confused with it. But so the accusation is that they paid him under the table. And if you're a teenager, you may not know what under the table means, but 1.6. So let's say the contract is 1.6 and they had to pay him 3 million. So they said, well, that extra 1.4 million, we're going to go and give it to you, either a little check in a little envelope, and we're just not going to report it, or we're going to hide it in some other way by, say, maybe buying you a house, and then the money is invested in that way, or buying you some fancy cars, or some other way of hiding the money. And so that's really what they're saying. Is they're saying that they may have paid him above the $1.6 million, and hiding it is not within the league rules. And again, that is kind of weird to me, when I know that someone like Beckham got part of their contract to buy into an MLS team. That was part of to sweeten the deal. And I know with, like I said, with Zidane, not Zidane, Zlatan, different Z. With Zlatan, part of his deal was that he had ownership in some other team that was still related in the family, right? And so, they hide money in other ways. So I don't know how it's okay for one and not okay for another, but somehow they're being accused of hiding some money, basically. They paid him some money that they didn't report. And so that's really the accusation. And what could happen to him? Well, that's what we're talking about. I don't think he ends up in a situation where he has to be removed from the team unless they say something to the fact that he has to be made a DP, and Pellegrini stays a DP. You don't have a DP. Then you look at Pellegrini, Pizarro, and Higuain. Those are your three DPs. Is Matuidi better than any of those three people? Do you ditch one of those three people to bring in Matuidi as a DP, if that's what the penalty is?
All right, guys, something for the guys in the chat. Who do you guys think, if we have to get rid of one of the DPs, why don't you guys write it down in the chat and we'll tally it up real quick and we'll see what you guys think. Which of the players of our four, players that we're mentioning was it's Matuidi, Higuain. What was the other one you said, Peter? I'm forgetting. I'm getting old.
Pellegrini, Matuidi, and Higuain are our 3 DPs.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's and I agree with Endo is that it's most likely a hefty fine and lose some draft picks. The votes are coming in strong already. Pellegrini.
Yeah.
Everybody says get rid of Pellegrini if you had. Because your other choice is to get rid of Matuidi, is to say, all right, Matuidi, you're not worth it. We're just going to break the contract or what have you. So, but everybody.
Pizarro was the other one we forgot to mention.
Yeah, Pizarro.
Right. Got
to dump Pellegrini. One World One Goal says. If you have to make a choice, everybody's choosing Pellegrini. He's a player that was under. An interesting thing we saw a video you shared with us, Ed, is a video of our new coach speaking Spanish, our Englishman. Speaking in Spanish to the players, and specifically, he focused on Pellegrini. I mean, I assume that's who he's talking to when he says Mati. I assume he's talking to Pellegrini, and he's kind of coaching Mati a little bit. I like that he was focusing on Pellegrini. Yeah,
because they probably see potential that wasn't exploited last year, and it's time for Pellegrini to, he's being paid the bucks. He needs to show it in the field.
Exactly.
We got another call?
We do, but I don't know if this is the call that somebody was telling us in the chat to not play. But, you called in. It means it's fair game. Yeah. It's fair game.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Joseph Team. I personally think Paul totally snitched. But to move on to a different topic, I don't know if you guys listen to MLS podcast. There's different podcasts, and I like these.
I guess that's what he's talking about. I guess he bailed on it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, but you know what? He did bring up that he thinks Tubby's snitched.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing of all of this is that. The guy that they hired, the guy that's supposed to know the rules, is not under investigation? I mean, unless the only way is if he said, Jorge, David, can't do this. You can't do it. I don't agree with it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And they went ahead and did it on their own. That's the only way. Maybe Jorge says, hey, that's how business is done in Miami.
Yeah, you go get some croquetas at Versailles and, with cafecito, and that's how we do it, man.
Yeah, the Cuban mafia. That's how we do it. But...
Oh, yeah.
Hey, and speaking of mafia, snitches get stitches. Just saying.
Yeah.
Tubby. Right? I mean, because...
yeah. And talk about mafia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Peter.
Yeah.
On that note, just to change it up a little bit, there's an article about your favorite city. It's got a team.
Not my favorite city.
It looks like they're...
Yes, I know where you're going.
They're sold.
Yeah, well, that's been in the news. That's been in the news for a while. And One World One Goal. Hang on a second. One World One Goal is saying that I have to side rail anything for Disney. Ed says, Peter, did you see Beckham signed a Disney Plus for youth program competition show in England? Nope, but I will watch it.
Uh-oh.
I have Disney Plus, of course. But duh. But no, as far as Orlando goes, not my favorite. You know what, Ed? better than Orlando is more the wherever Disney is, Kissimmee, kind of Osceola County, all that kind of stuff. Wherever Disney is, I like that part. Orlando, whatever. But yeah, they're for sale, and it's been we've talked about it. I think in the previously that they were for sale when those first mentioned, but now it's being reported that the Wilf family out of Minnesota, the owners of the Minnesota Vikings, are apparently interested in buying the team, and apparently they're willing to spend somewhere around $450 million for the team. However, the team is apparently looking for $500 million. So who knows if the deal gets across the goal line? But it looks like the Brazilian owner there is looking to get out because everybody wants to get out.
Wants to get out.
Well, think about it this. If you're going to sell, now's the time to sell because they were a crap team forever. They had one good year. Now let's sell. Sell while it's hot.
Exactly. And I think the one thing about the Wilf family is I think they own a team right now, or at least part of a team.
They are minority investors in Nashville. And so if they decide to buy Orlando City, they're going to be forced to sell that minority stake in Nashville, which is interesting. I did not know that they would be forced to sell their minority stake until I read it. Because in the past, and we were talking about this amongst ourselves, that in the past, I don't know if you want to say good old days, because I think we're in the good days of MLS. The tough and hard days of MLS, the old Miami Fusion days of MLS, the days where your team guaranteed to lose money and you just were holding on to the hope for something better somewhere down the line. Those years where you had the Hunts and you had Phil Anschutz owning like the whole league, pretty much. Phil Anschutz at one point, if I'm not wrong, owned about 5 teams. And so
the Hunts did too. I think I'm not sure how many teams they own, but they own a lot.
I think the Hunts
at least 2 of them.
I think they own maybe 3. They definitely own Dallas because they still own Dallas. They owned Columbus, and eventually they sold those to Anthony Precourt, who then sold them on to other people. And I'm not 100% sure, but the Hunts might have also owned Kansas City, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So they own 2 or 3 teams, and Phil Anschutz, who is the current owner of LA Galaxy, owned several teams. And the funny thing is, the rumor was that he was going to buy whichever team basically moved forward, whether it be the Miami Fusion or the San Jose Earthquakes. San Jose Earthquakes knocked us out of the playoffs. Therefore, he bought the San Jose Earthquakes. And I think they might have gone on to win the whole thing. So, of course, he bought the San Jose Earthquakes and let them survive because they were on that bubble of getting contracted just like Miami Fusion was. So, had we won that game, had Chris Henderson scored another goal, maybe Phil Anschutz would have saved that team, and these days we would still be wearing Miami Fusion blue instead of pink. Although I like pink, but
right,
yeah. So yeah, the good old days of the old days. I don't know about good. The old days where you had 2 or 3 guys that owned all the teams.
You could own more teams.
Yeah, and that's gone.
Now it's not like that.
No, now it's a healthier league where they're really pushing individual owners for every team. And obviously, they're not just pushing it, they're enforcing it. If they're saying that the Wilf family would buy Orlando City, they would have to sell their stake in Nashville. So it's not a done deal, but Flavio is looking to get out of Orlando. And look, he's not a local owner. He's an owner in Brazil. I don't even think he lives in Orlando. He's from Brazil. He's in the education business. That's where he's made his money. If you think about it, he'll turn a big profit. So why not? The question is, they're not sure yet if this also includes the Orlando Pride, the NWSL team, and if it also includes the stadium. Nobody really knows if that $450 million is just the team or if it includes everything. If it includes everything, that's a good deal.
It is. It is. They get the women's team and the stadium, which is not that bad.
If it's all included. If it's all included. Yeah, the stadium itself is worth. I mean, most teams I think most owners buy into MLS for the land and for the development. I mean, the team itself is a byproduct. Owning the land, owning the stadium, being able to control that is really where the money is.
Concerts, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. I think we have some more.
That's where they make the money.
We might have some more voicemail. Nope, nothing yet. Nothing yet. I thought we did. We got a couple. We got a couple text messages. In a text message from somebody saying Inter Miami is the Miami Vice of MLS in a good way.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, you guys can text us there too.
Yeah,
That's
you
cool.
can. I mean, I prefer voicemails. So basically, what Joseph was trying to say, he sent it in a text. I guess he lost something in his voicemail. So in text, he said, basically, what I wanted to say in my voicemail was that Paul Tenorio and Sam Skatial have a podcast on all MLS stuff. In their podcast, they discuss the potential way of how MLS will do the Open Cup this year. They said that after the first 3 matches of this MLS season, the top 8 American teams will qualify for the Open Cup this year. What do you guys think about it? I did read about that as well. Oh, and apparently
I'm getting a message here that there is a message from Uncle Ned.
Uncle Ned is.
I just got a.
I mean, I don't have it yet.
He said he sent something, and so he's like the mysterious Uncle Ned.
Well, I do have one that did not transcribe. Normally they transcribe and I can see who's calling. So anyways, let's talk about Joseph's comment about U.S. Open before we go to Uncle Ned. Yeah, I did read that too. And that's interesting because a U.S. Open Cup, to me, it's one of those tournaments that is not given enough attention. It's the oldest soccer tournament we have in this country, and it's ignored for the most part. And clearly, normally it's the top teams that make it in. This year, they're saying within the first 3 games, the top teams. So that I like it because that means we got a shot. If we come out of the gate swinging, we got a shot to get in the U.S. Open Cup. I like it. The Open Cup, I think last year was the first year that they didn't play. So. Hang on a second, guys. Something very important just came across my, where is that? My wife is somewhere, and she just sent me an image of some pink Inter Miami shorts.
Wow.
Yeah. She just sent me and saying they only have them in extra small though. That's $16.99. That's. I know, that's what I want to. Where's this out? I mean, she's at Sawgrass. And she doesn't know, I guess, realize that I'm still live. But but I would tell her
that's
to
good
buy
information.
some. $16.99 for some pink Inter Miami like shorts that you would just wear around the house or something like that. These are they look like basketball shorts. But I would share them, but I'm not sharing my text messages. I'm sorry, folks. All right.
There's another thing I wanted to bring up, Peter. We do know one of the players that we had in last year's roster. He joined another team. You know who we're talking about?
Yeah. Go ahead and mention it though. It's one of the players we didn't renew.
Atlanta United. Let's see. It's Agudelo signed for Minnesota United. So Juan Agudelo is moving on to Minnesota. Now he went from the beach to go. He went to go freeze now in Minnesota. Good for him.
Yeah. All right.
He's still going strong. Good guy. We had him on the show. You guys could check on those videos in the past. We had a good conversation with Juan Agudelo. So look for that video in our history.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually a really good interview. It was fun. He was a cool guy. All right, let's
There's
see.
Go ahead.
Let's see what this voicemail has to say. Let's see. I have no idea what it's going to be.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed, it's Kevin Gonzalez up in Wellington. Great show as always. I wanted to touch on something that I mentioned last week about Sacramento. As you probably well know, Ron Burkle backed out of his ownership investment, and Sacramento for now is off the board as far as MLS. Although Sacramento is looking to get a new major investor to try and save the franchise, my question to you is, do you think, given the COVID-19 pandemic, that there are some other clubs, especially in some of the smaller markets, that may also be in danger of possible contraction? Hopefully this isn't the case, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. And once again, great show as always. Thanks a lot.
Contraction. We're talking contraction again? I think, Ed, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Oh, by the way, that was at Burlington.
Oh, wow. Burlington, of all places.
I'm going to tell you, if you think they will fit me, buy them.
Well, you are pretty skinny, Peter. You might be able to fit in them. You keep losing any more weight, you're going to disappear,
dude,
Peter.
I'm gaining weight again, so just so you know. Because
it's the beer.
Well, at least I'm doing something, trying to be a little bit better. I'm like, the seltzer stuff that's a little healthier. But when you drink like 6 of them in one day, I don't know if it's any healthier. Because here's the thing. True. Here's the thing. We're going to probably end up going a little long. But here's the thing is I end up waking up super early, drink some coffee, then I get busy around the house. I do yard work. Today was washing cars and doing all that kind of stuff and maybe a little yard work on top of that, which was mostly yesterday. And then after that is drinking. Sitting by the pool drinking. So, get busy doing
It's got to be nice.
But anyways, contraction. I don't think we're at that point. There are a few teams that are up for sale. Orlando's for sale. There's a couple other that are for sale as well. Over in California, the Quakes? There's a few other teams. I can't remember right off the top of my head. There's a couple other teams that are for sale. So there are a few teams for sale, but I don't think we're at a point where they're contraction. I just don't think COVID has been...
The league's still kind of strong.
COVID has been bad, but I think they're strong enough where we can withstand that. I think there's enough owners. There's been enough interest in this league that before there's contraction, there will be people like the Wilf family that buy up teams that may be for sale. So because there was so much before COVID, there was so much interest in the league that I think some of those owners that maybe they couldn't get their team in Tampa or they couldn't get their team in wherever they wanted, that they'll spend their money in another city because they want to be part of the league.
Well, it's got to be such a hit for the Sacramento fans who support that team, in the thousands, to hear that their team's not, possibly not ever going to play for Major League Soccer has got to be a huge hit. We remember back in our, when we got teased a couple of times that, we were going to have a team, when Marcelo Clare tried the first time with Barcelona, and the disappointment of seeing how close we were and it not happening. I mean, I feel for everybody in Sacramento because I know they're very passionate for that team, and I'm hoping they get an investor because, it's not something, that I'd like to happen to us again. That's for sure.
Now the chat's talked about.
It won't happen now.
The chat's turned into talking about my weight downtown. It's all that inner Miami stress that's making Peter gain some weight. RSL is for sale. Exactly. I remember Richard Greenberg is that's
RSL.
That's because of their whole drama with their own.
Good one, Richard.
Yeah. I knew there was a few. I just couldn't remember. All right. So we have another. Man, I'm getting text messages left and right. Inter Miami.
It's because now they know they can text message you.
Exactly. I watch the show every week. I am just trying to figure it out. This is one person from the area code of 443 texting me. I don't know what that area code is. Great that David.
Be sure to leave your name, guys. So we at least.
Great that David Beckham is involved with the academy team. Half MLS is now getting the European way and Inter Miami, blah, blah, blah. All right. I don't know. Voicemails are better. I don't have to sit here and read. That's why. But I appreciate. My wife is saying they seem a little small, but I can return. But I can buy and return if it doesn't fit. I'm telling her, do it. All right. Do it. Give me some Inter Miami shorts.
Yeah.
All right.
Engage.
All right. Here we go. Here's I think a voicemail from Uncle Ned. Let's finish it off with Uncle Ned.
Okay. I see what's going on. Tubby blocked my phone call from earlier. Well played, Tubby. Anyway, fam. Damn. Well, where do I start? Well, obviously, I start with the obvious. Listen, I don't know for a fact that Tubby played us out and threw us under the bus, but if he did, you're wrong for that, Tubby. You're wrong for that, man. Just take your final paycheck and your parachute, your golden parachute, and get the hell out of here, man. You know, you got paid. So I find it very suspicious that this guy has set up there and, he's not under investigation. How could a general manager not be under investigation? He's a GM.
Exactly.
Okay? But that's very suspicious. And I got to come at you. By the way, what's up, Uncle Ed? Darrell's favorite uncle. This is Uncle Ned, America's favorite uncle. I got to come at downtown here, your partner, Uncle Ed, because Tubby set up there and gave downtown, okay? We love downtown, but downtown, your butt should be on fire right now, man. You should be on a hot seat. Because Tubby set up there and gave you a nice little tour around the stadium. Maybe bought you some churros and the WWE wrestling bars and stuff like that. Maybe bought you some ice cream. And, downtown was feeling good, man. It's like, oh, man, Tubby's my man.
My man.
I've been trying to tell you, Tubby is dirty, man. I've been trying to tell you that. Tubby can't even draft. So he can't even draft an expansion draft. They're giving you 5 people to draft, and Tubby can't even draft. So I was always on the Tubby, okay? Anyway, hey, we all make mistakes, but he ain't, I saw right through Tubby, all right? But, listen, if I had to choose, unfortunately, and we couldn't put Pellegrini under the under 22, I'd have to say goodbye to Pellegrini. You scored 1 goal out of the whole season. Guess what? Matuid scored 1 goal, and he's on defense. He's a defensive midfielder. How's a defensive midfielder scoring more goals than our left winger? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. But, hopefully we'll just get a fine and draft pick removal, and that's it. Let's just call it a night. And by the way, yes, LA Galaxy has been getting away with this for so long. You can't tell me some of the big names that they signed. They signed Gerrard. They signed Keane. They signed Beckham. I mean, come on. Everything is on the up and up with these guys. Come on. I'm not trying to, pull other people's names into the mix, but
why not? All right, it died. He died. Uncle Ned has a tendency of going a little.
It's a Miami thing. Everybody wants to pick on Miami, Peter.
I mean,
it's just like they hate us because we live with a vacation.
Because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us.
They ain't us. Yeah.
All right. Is that the saying?
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Haters.
I'm reading text messages. I got a text message, buddy, apparently. We're talking about apparently Def Leppard and Van Halen and Maryland and my shirt.
Boy.
And my shirt. A lot of text The problem with the text message, it could take me away from the show. Whereas a voicemail, I can play along with it and stuff like that. Text message takes me away from the show. But chat your messages. Well, I guess either one. In all honesty, I probably see the text messages more than the chats because I don't look down as much as I look up. But let me just say this about his accusations. His accusations that Mr. Paul McDonough bought me ice cream. He didn't buy me anything. I'm a cheap date, Ed. All he did,
But he gave you that tour.
all he offered me was a tour as long as I turned off my camera. So I'm a cheap date. I didn't get a churro. I didn't get nothing. Not ice cream, not nothing, not a Mickey bar. Nothing. Got a tour. And I couldn't even document the tour.
Well, we did get that the golf tour.
Yes, that was super cool. But that was
that
was from our construction guy, who we never saw again.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah,
Never saw him again. Did he lose his job because he gave us a tour? I don't know.
I don't know, but
never
it was a good
saw
tour
the
and
guy
a good
again.
video. And you guys can check that on in our history too.
Yeah, some of our most watched videos
it.
That's what's cool. Construction videos. Yeah, that's what's cool is to go back and watch some of those construction videos and know where we are now, where we. I mean, those are kind of cool, and they're constantly, doing well, and still people are still watching them. Jet Pancake is saying Pete was told some secret info and he doesn't want to admit it. Look, if
did you know about this, Peter?
If Tubby will dime out,
if
Tubby will dime us out, I will dime him out. And he didn't tell me anything. I asked him. Here's the thing: is one thing he's accused of is being very arrogant, and I could admit to he's super nice. He's a very nice man.
Yeah.
But he is a little arrogant.
Yeah.
Yes, he is arrogant. He was confident in his job. When I asked him if you're going to bring us a big name player, he says, "What's a big name player?" I mean, define big name player. To him it was, if I bring you an up and coming Argentinian player, like he did in Atlanta, is that good enough? But he didn't do it, so it wasn't good enough.
Right.
He
brought us a couple expensive Argentinian kids who still have to show us something.
Exactly.
Let's hope this year they do it.
Eric Thomas is asking what happened to Brenda, the security guard lady. I saw her a couple times again, but she disappeared. Everybody I talked to disappears. They're all gone. They're all gone.
Conspiracy theories.
Ratchet up. Bring on the conspiracy theories. Everybody I talked to has disappeared. They're no longer part of Lockhart. They're no longer part of Inter Miami CF Stadium. They're no longer part of Inter Miami. So, speaking of that, will any of the new guys give me a tour or talk to me? Will Chris Henderson say hi? I mean, if he does, is that a sign? Is that a sign
Chris
that
Henderson.
he'll be gone? I don't know. Well, anyways,
Peter, let's before we leave, why don't we go over
more messages?
Let's go over the preseason. Wow,
I'm still getting messages. Go ahead, Ed. You want
to go over the preseason matches
real quick? Preseason, we can't go see any of them, but here they are. This is
we can't see any of them.
Not the best screenshot here, but it's from a phone.
Maybe the last one.
Maybe the last one. So March 20th, pretty soon. Think about that. That's really soon. We'll be. They're going to play against. This doesn't say who they're playing against. Although I did read somewhere else who they were playing against, and I don't remember who that was. They're playing against an MLS team. Oh, it does say Miami FC. There it is. I can't.
Miami
read.
FC.
I can't read.
Miami FC.
Yeah, they're playing against Miami FC. And speaking of, we need to talk a little bit about Miami FC in the future. They're ramping up as well. We're ramping up, and I look forward to seeing some games of them too. So they're playing on the 20th.
And all the other teams out there.
Yeah, and there's a new league in South Florida, PASL, and our friends at Boca Raton Football Club are part of that. And then March 27th, they're traveling up. They did talk about going out of market a little bit, and so it makes sense that they're going up to St. Petersburg again to play the Tampa Bay Rowdies. I was really looking forward to making that road trip again with you, Uncle Ed, but doesn't look like we're going to be allowed to because they're going to be playing in a closed-door match at Al Lang Stadium. And then right down the street, they're going to play in the same neck of the woods. A few days later, they'll play against Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery, man, I remember some good years watching the original Miami FC play against Charleston Battery, and maybe even Fort Lauderdale Strikers. But I remember the Charleston Battery, one of the teams that had one of the original really nice soccer specific stadiums.
Stadiums.
Yeah, they had a bar in their own stadium. That was super cool.
Yeah.
Then they're going to play New York Red Bulls. That's a really good game again up there in Bradenton, which is just outside of Tampa. And then again, Nashville. They'll play their Nashville. So at some point around April 10th, there's possibility, Ed, a very small possibility, but a possibility that we could potentially see the April 10th game. They're holding that one out as a maybe. For I don't know if they're gonna. You know what would be cool is if they open that up just to season ticket holders only, as a reward for season ticket holders.
That would be kind of cool, because we already know that there's a great possibility that we're not all going to be able to get in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know how they're going to be able to do it, because we got season tickets. A lot of people got season tickets. Most of that stadium is sold out. So they're going to have to, I don't know, skip a game or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to
refund us, or maybe say, hey, guys, we'll give you a credit for next season.
I mean, I think what they have to do is they have to kind of handle it the way they did last season. And they just forget season ticket holders for whatever games that they have that are within the 35% constraints. Right, so whatever in the COVID constraints, you just have to say forget season ticket holders and just put them up for single game tickets. Season ticket holders get first dibs like we did last time, but it's you have to buy your single ticket. I imagine that's what's going to happen. And then as far as what do they give us, because we prepaid for those games, they either move it to 2022 or they refund us. I think at this point you kind of maybe need a refund. You know, but I mean, you give people the option. You give you and me the option. I'm going to say roll it over, right? But I don't think they necessarily roll over the whole season. They might go game by game, because there is a thought that maybe a little later in the summer that maybe enough people have gotten the vaccine and that you can have a full stadium. Maybe. So, and I know that's a little bit controversial because some people want the vaccine, some people don't want it, what have you. But, so I have a feeling. Julio says supporters groups will definitely have to be allowed. I mean, not if they remove season ticket holders. If they say season ticket, you as a supporters group would get first dibs. You would probably get first dibs before season ticket holders, and that makes sense. But I don't imagine you get any guarantee to get into the side of the stadium. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. That's gonna that April 17th time frame is going to be interesting. We don't know if the April 17th is going to be a home game or if that's just going to be an away game. But that is supposed to be the first game. The kickoff of the season is April 17th. So. We'll see. Yeah. I did see a message in here about our friends at Miami United. Eric Thomas was asking does Miami United still exist? Yes. They currently, as far as I know, play in the UPSL. That's the league that they're currently playing. And they're playing games currently.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that they're still playing. Peter, I wanted to go over the Inter Miami roster so far because I think it's interesting. We still need to get some players. I don't know how it's going to work out. If they have any TAM money left to get somebody that could be an actual playmaker, because I think that's the player that we need right now, or maybe another forward. Because if you look at the list, man, we've only got 3 actual forwards. We've got Carranza, we've got Gonzalo Higuain, and Robbie Robinson, which are our only attackers. Midfield, we got tons of midfielders. We've got George Acosta, Edison Ascona, Jay Chapman, Gregory, right? I said it right?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah.
Federico Higuain, Blaise Matuidi, Luis Morgan, Pellegrini, Josh Penn, Rodolfo Pizarro, Victor Ulloa, one of your favorites, and Felipe Valencia. So we've got a lot of midfielders there. Not sure if we're going to add another midfielder, playmaker or something, or we might need another forward. What are your thoughts, Peter?
Yeah, we definitely need more up top. We definitely need that attacking player that Chris Henderson kind of promised. He said an attacking player of some sort, whether it be a midfield or forward. You just mentioned attacking. We definitely need an attacking player. So
yeah, we've only got 3 actual forwards, and we've got defenders. I'll mention that real quick. We've got Nicolas Figal, Ian Frey, Leandro. I'm sorry, Gonzalez.
We don't have
Pires.
Ian Frey, by the way. He's
he's
out.
already gone?
Remember, he's the young
yeah.
kid. He's my boy from the
hurt.
creek. He's my boy from
But
the
he's
creek.
signed.
He's hurt.
Yeah.
He's out.
We got Christian Macoun, which, by the way, was his birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Christian.
birthday, Christian.
I think it was yesterday. Dylan Nealis, Jairo Quinteros, Patrick Segrist, Ryan Shawcross, Breck Shea.
Yeah, my boy Breck.
And we got our keepers, which I think we're pretty much set on keepers. Drake Callender, Dylan Castaneda, and John McCarthy, which will probably be the starter.
Yeah, we're not going to. At this point, I think we have 3 goalkeepers. I mean, he's your starting goalkeeper, whether you like it or not. He was a decent goalkeeper, but if you think about it, was he any worse than Robles?
No, not at all.
And Robles was your captain, your starter, so he wasn't any worse than Robles. So if you put a decent defense in front of him, he could be okay. Is he going to be your star goalkeeper? No, but he's okay. Right. And so, as long as we have a decent defense, he should be all right.
Right. Yeah. And we hopefully do have a decent defense. We're still missing one player that's been mentioned a lot lately. What's his name? Kieran. I forgot his last name. Gibbs, right?
Yep.
Who's been very, he's basically almost ready to be signed.
That's
so
what
we're just
we heard.
waiting for confirmation on that.
Yeah. We've heard that he was very, very close to being signed. But you know how these deals go. Anything can happen at the last minute, and think about it. If we're under investigation, does that impact any of these future players? Does a player like Kieran Gibbs go, yeah, I'm not interested in going to a team that's under investigation?
There's got a lot of drama.
Got a lot of drama. When I think about drama and under investigation, what popped in my head again is FIFA. You don't remember that whole FIFA scandal, Ed? It also was in Miami. It
was in Miami. A lot of people got
our buddy Aaron Davidson. Our buddy Aaron Davidson got snagged, and he was the owner representative for Miami FC, and we became very, very close friends with him. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, Ed, there was one question. Alex Z is asking, hey, Uncle Ed, there still any open memberships for Southern Legion for 2021? Info on your website is for 2020. So the info on the website is outdated, but yes, I do oversee the website, and I have neglected to spend any time on it. So those click the button.
Yeah, click the button, and you should be able to do it. Yeah. So.
Yep. All right, and as far as Cesar Hernandez, any sponsor news? No.
Nothing yet. They did promise that something's happening. We've got a guy that used to work for Barcelona that's in he's doing all that stuff, so you can imagine he's got some good connections, and hopefully we're going to have. That's why I'm waiting to buy my La Palma, because I want the whatever.
And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So
the sponsor.
If you buy, I'm curious. I don't know about other teams. If you buy a replica jersey, does it normally have the sponsorship or no?
I would imagine so, but that's a good question.
I don't know, because I know the replica does not come with any of the patches. And so, and even, the only place that you can really get all the MLS patches and stuff like that is through Inter Miami or through MLS themselves. Because even Canes wear, it's going to come without the patches. You'll have to go and get those yourselves. But that's why when you go to an Inter Miami store, they're a little bit more, because they're charging you for those patches. So you can still go and get
those
them.
Extra stuff.
Yeah, you can still go and get them, but they're going to charge you for it. But that's what I'm on, because like tomorrow, I'm going to Canes wear. I'm going to Canes wear tomorrow. And do I buy?
Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd hold off on it for a little bit. That's what I'm, waiting for the announcement of the sponsor and for them to start printing it, and then I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, so I think I'm going. I'm headed to Canesware tomorrow. We definitely shop where we tell you to shop. So if I'm going to tell you to go to Canes, where I'm definitely I'm shopping there myself, right? I'm not going to tell you to go somewhere that I would not go, and same with
Exactly.
Ed. So I'm going to Canesware tomorrow, and the decision, the question mark is just what am I going to buy? Right. I know I'm going to spend some money, and I'm going to buy. I know I'm buying the rain jacket because I fell in love with it when I saw it. And the interesting thing, and I don't want to bag on Inter Miami, but that rain jacket that I saw, and if you watch back my video that I did from the jersey unveiling fan event. If you watch that, I showed some prices of some of the items. My wife helped me with that, Mrs. Peter. She helped me with that. And if I remember correctly, that jacket that I want to get was like $112 at Inter Miami, at the stadium. Canesware, it's only $100. So you're going to save $12 just by shopping at Canesware. So things are marked up.
Wow.
Inter Miami is trying to get a little money. They're marking things up a little bit. So if you go to Canesware,
They're right there.
you can get them a little bit cheaper. So that's where
Plus,
I'm going to be going tomorrow.
you got to put up that 10% and the code that they can use.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll get
Use
it a little cheaper.
FB as in boy, FBTV10 for 10% off at www.canesware.com. So thanks so much. Ed, it was a fun show tonight. I appreciate your energy. It was good conversation. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. We had a lot of fun. We went long again. You know, as long as there's a lot of content. Are you're blaming this on me? You're saying I can talk?
Dude, you can talk. Yeah, because if you really think about it, people have been complaining to me directly, telling me, "Man, Peter could really talk," you know. And all right, well, now it's my show, guys. So thank you for sticking around. We appreciate everything you do, and from now on, it's just going to be me talking all the time. So,
I mean, if I talk too much, I can leave.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, the way it's going so far, the more you lose weight, you're going to eventually disappear. So, you know, it's just going to be Uncle Ed.
There you go.
The Uncle Ed show.
There you go. Well, that'd be a very good show, though. It'd be a good show.
Maybe I'll get Uncle Ned to join me.
There you go. Uncle Ned and Uncle Ed. There you go.
It'll be the Uncle show. There you go.
That'd be awesome. I would watch that. I would definitely watch that. Right. Well, anyways, thanks everybody for joining. Thank you for everybody in the chat. You make it fun. Thank you for all the voicemails. The voicemails are a lot of fun. Thank you to Uncle Ned and Canes and One World, One Gold and everybody else that young Carranza, that sent some messages. I really appreciate it. And everybody in the chat, thank you. But one thing is, I know we had a lot more viewers than we have likes. So please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Please share this and like it. It helps, with the whole YouTube stuff, right? So that's all important.
Right.
So, Ed, let's do it again next week. It was a lot of fun.
Let's do it.
We'll see you next week. Thanks so much, everybody.